Twin Towers, you know, that happened 20 years ago, and it's real. Sorry, Josh. You know, it's real memory for everyone, wasn't it? You know, it's everywhere on the news, whatever, you know. And you know, that 20 years ago, it's kind of like slowly fading from people, you know. And some people, like your son, for instance, don't really. It's not his memory. He wasn't even in that world at that time.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
You know, and so the children.
But they will be taught about that in school.
Yeah.
Because that was a historical event that's happened in the last 20 years. You know? So.
Yeah, that's right, you know, so they're being taught bad news, really, you know. We were talking about the last series, weren't we, about bad news and good news.
Well, all the time, all the news ever talks about is bad news, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always bad news.
You know, that's no, you know, like I say, it's killing the imagination, all this bad news, you know, it's pumping fear into people all the time.
Constantly.
You know, and I'd love it if it was all good news in the kind of way, you know, like, just nice, beautiful stuff, you know, whatever, you know. You know, a hero that saves someone or whatever, you know, or a granny that lived 100, you know, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
All this sort of stuff, you know, good news to cheer people up.
Yeah.
And education news as well. What, you know, educational news. What about that one? You know, where they teach people how to be wise.
Yeah, sure.
And how to be successful in life, and how to use your imagination, you know, and how can we be together. You know, they talk about we're together, let's fight this together, and all this stuff, this virus and all this sort of nasty rubbish. We can do this, pots and pans together, you know, like in the hospitals, sort of save people's lives and all that, yeah. We can do this, but, you know, we're not using our imagination, we're just fighting crime all the time, we're fighting, you know, ill people. Everyone's getting sick, alright, because, you know, nobody's got an imagination to help them in this world, do you know what I mean? They're just dying, you know, and their imagination's sinking up like this, and they want to die, these people, do you know what I mean? Because their imagination's completely vanished almost. Yeah. You know? And, you know, I'd say it's a pretty scary world, really, because, like, you know, sometimes, like, this country could be completely happy, but like next week it might not be because something happened in a way, you know. And people can lose their happiness quite quickly.
Oh, definitely.
You know, and then once, say 100 people lose their happiness because something's happened, they might do something to make another 200 people unhappy. You know, and it kind of spreads, you know, a little bit like a disease, you know. And you know, you just got to make sure you don't sink into that place, you know, don't just step out of happiness, step out of the puddles, you know, so you can start enjoying your imagination, you know, and like, so you can only enjoy your imagination if you enjoy the moment, you know, and that's the fact. You know, you won't be doing, you won't be really enjoy your imagination if you're worried, fear, what else is there, you know, or even in love, I suppose, you know. You know?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, we've got to be, you know, I think it's good for people to be more in tune with themselves, their inner selves, their you know, their inner conscience and their subconscious as well. Like, you know, you've got to
believe in yourself.
To be in tune with yourself and being, I think that is a big part of, you know, having a good imagination, you know, just being completely, you know, in tune with yourself and being able to, you know, just being able to, like, fully recall and recollect all your experiences, you know. You know, some people can do it very vivid. So for some people it's very vague, and for some people it's very vivid, if you see what I mean, you know. But you've got to be really in tune. I think you've got to be, like I said, you've got to be in tune with yourself to have a good imagination, you know. To, you know, you've got to kind of, I guess, as we would say, kind of, you know, you know, your third eye needs to be open, kind of thing, you know,
Yeah, well,
you know, your pineal gland needs to be opened, you know, you need to be kind of enlightened, so to speak, you know.
Yeah, and I think, like, another thing is, I think we did speak a little bit about it previously, I can't remember, about, like, people not loving themselves, you know. You're not going to use your imagination too much if you're like that, you know. You've got to love yourself, and you've got to be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you just got to be strong and stand on your feet, you know, and move on, keep climbing that mountain.
Yeah.
And get on top. You can use your imagination. You know. Personally, I don't need to climb a mountain. I can climb it in my imagination.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and personally, I mean, my brother said to me today, my older brother, he said to me that he's going to London tomorrow to see my other brother, you know.
Okay.
And I said, so am I.
Yeah.
You know, and he said, where are you going then? I said, I'm going to the same place as you, but I'm just going to imagine it.
Yeah.
You know, I can dream of it.
Probably
I know what Matthew looks like, you know.
Probably made him laugh, yeah.
Well, sometimes. But you, like I say, it is better to experience these things, right? Because like, if I did go to London with my brother tomorrow, yeah, I can wake up, sort of come back home the next day, and remember that happening.
Yeah.
You see, so you do make your own memories.
You do. You do.
You know, so you've got to be careful, really. Like, so if you know, you wake up in a day, and it's your choice whether you want to do whatever in a kind of way, you know.
Yeah.
And whatever you do is going to be that memory today. Do you know what I mean? So if you're going to be swearing and depressed, right, that's your shadow to carry tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to carry your own shadows of your own self, your own mirror, in a funny way, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you've got to drag your own memories.
Some people try to hide from it and try to, you know, try their best not to think about it or whatever, you know, but we all have to live with our actions, you know, we all have to live with what we've done, whether it be good or bad, you know, we all have to live with those things, you know, but it's about how you respond to those things as well. And just because you've made mistakes in the past doesn't mean that you have to make them again in the present moment or in the future, you know. You know, we can all transform our lives, you know, we can all, you know, go from being a very bad person and very negative and very, you know, whatever type of person, and we can, you know, we've all, you know, we've all met people like that, or have gone through these things ourselves in our lives personally, where, you know, we weren't, none of us are perfect, but you know, some of us are able to, like we were talking about in the last episode, we're able to reflect on ourselves and, you know, just analyze ourselves and use that to better ourselves, you know, to identify our flaws and things that we may not like about ourselves particularly, whether it be a mannerism or a behaviour or a character trait or a personality thing or whatever, like, you know, it's about working on yourself. We're all continuous, we're all works in progress, you see what I mean, every single one of us, you know, we never stop being works in progress until the day that we go, if you see what I mean, you know, no one is perfect, you know, we all mature at different levels, we all experience different things and have been through different things in life, so some of us are more experienced and some of us may be more tougher to certain things, you know, more, you know, knowledgeable about it, and might be more tougher to certain things because we've been through it a lot more than other people, or, you know, experienced more trauma, or whatever the case may be, you know. But yeah, you know, like we can go back to the imagination. The imagination is basically just every day we use our imagination for everything. Every time you think, you're using your imagination. You're thinking, you know, even if it's even if it's right now, even if it's when you go, even if it's when you're planning the next day, you're planning your next day. Even if it's when you're at home late at night, planning the next day ahead, all the things that you need to do and all that type of stuff. You know, kind of organising a schedule for yourself for that day or whatever the case may be. You're using your imagination. You're thinking. You know,
It's a very powerful place, the imagination. You know.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have
your thought process.
You can actually, you know, once you have got a very, you know, because I know that, to be honest with you, I feel that I've got a good imagination, okay, because I've always been a bit of an artist, okay, and I can feel my art, I can feel it around me, you know, and it's growing, you know, it's beautiful, you know, and I feel like the imagination will grow more beautiful as long as you let it, you know, and be open, be open-minded, let it flow, you know, and like I say, I'm searching for learning more stuff that I don't know, you know, I mean, like for instance, I don't know everything about cooking, and that's an art. And you've got to use your imagination to cook, for instance, you know.
Definitely. Well, if you want it to kind of be exciting, if you know what I mean.
You know, but I can learn more about cooking if I want, but you know, I can either learn, you know, I don't really want to, right, because I just feel like I know enough. I want to learn other things.
There's other things that interest you more.
You know, that's what you've got to look at. You've got to understand what you know, which I do, and you know what you know, don't you? Yeah,
do
you know what you know?
Yeah, I know what I know, but we all gravitate towards different things in life. We all are interested by different things in life. Some of us have common interests, and some of us have very different interests, if you see what I mean. You know, we're all different. It comes back to the whole thing of we're all different, we're all unique, we're all living a different life, you know, even if we're living in the same kind of environment or same circumstances, so to speak, you know, a lot of us. We're all living different lives, you know, so, yeah, that's what it boils down to.
Even animals and birds, right, yeah? They've got memory.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, they have, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, they wouldn't be the fly if they didn't, you know? You know, so humans are not the only person that got memory, right? But I think humans got a bigger imagination, you see, and sometimes that's the trouble with humans a bit. Their imagination, in a kind of way, sometimes can fall in love with gold. And then somebody could be looking at diamonds all day, you know, and counting them every day, you know. And then when their life's over, they look at their memories and think, where were they? Just diamonds, you know. You know, you don't need diamonds. You don't even. To me personally, diamonds don't interest me. You know.
Yeah.
Everybody's seeking to get rich out there, but I don't want any.
Yeah.
You know, they're here in here.
Yeah.
My memories are diamonds.
Yeah.
With, you know, all the magical moments I have with my children, that's another diamond. Yeah, I didn't spend my day counting money all day. I spent the magical time with my children.
Yeah.
You know, but I do understand, right? Like this world we're living in, right? We all need money. You know, and we're all kind of fighting over it almost.
Yeah. But we're all driven by different things too, as well. It comes back down to being an individual again. We're all driven by different things, you know. Some people imagine money. Some people just think about and imagine money all day long, mate. You know?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Because that's what drives them.
Some people think of women all day, you know.
You know.
It's you know, the imagination can go absolutely everywhere you want it to.
Yeah.
You know, you can look at, you know, just go anywhere, right? It depends it's up to you. You know, I can, like tomorrow I can wake up and say I want to study stamps and learn about them.
Yeah.
You know, which I don't want to do.
Yeah.
But I'm just sort of bringing that up as a, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but you can learn about electricity if you want.
Yeah.
You know, and start, you know, and then once you learn about electricity, say, about different components and circuit boards and all this sort of stuff, you know, you might be invent something yourself.
Yeah.
Because you've learned, you know, a lot about, you know, I mean, that's how electronics got evolved, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, you know, somebody looks at a light bulb and then somebody sort of says, I'm going to make that light bulb a little bit better.
But everything has evolved through trial and error, hasn't it? You know.
Cars have improved slowly in time.
Everything.
Computers improved. Cameras have improved slowly in time. I mean,
it's man's continuous quest for evolution in different aspects of life, whether it be technology or you know, or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing, you know, like I say, I mean, if without the imagination we wouldn't have come up with any of the ideas that we've got here, like bubbles or anything, or nothing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see nothing.
Yeah.
You know, none of these ideas wouldn't exist, you know.
Yeah.
Like I say, the universe wouldn't even exist if you didn't have an imagination or a memory to remember it all.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, when I wake up in the morning, the moon's there, the stars, you know, do you know what I mean? Everything's there that I know.
Yeah.
You know, I can walk around blind.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Yeah.
You know, and people kind of, like I say, they like some people just watching TV all day, yeah, and then they go to sleep and they're dreaming or worried what thing he's going to do next day. Is he going to murder him or whatever?
Yeah.
You know? And they can't sleep because of it, you know, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it's a shame really that people spend a lot of time doing things when they could be doing a lot of better things with their imagination that will, you know, a lot more potential.
Yeah.
Basically.
But it's again, it comes back down to not being people's fault too. I think, you know,
we're all trapped in this world.
We're all living in very similar societies right throughout the world. You know, where most people are working class people, mate, and most of their time is taken up by work and everything else. You know, people are consumed. That's why even some people find it hard to cope. You know, you've got a lot of people who just can't cope, you know, because they like, not everyone can deal with the societal pressures of today, you know, easily, you know, not everyone can, you know. You know, some people struggle with it and they end up, you know, sometimes, you know, end up with mental health problems, or end up doing something that they, you know, something, you know, regrettable, you know.
So there's a lot of children, yeah, get abused.
It's not easy, you know, it's not easy. Like, not a lot of people are strong enough today, mentally, etc., to deal with how hard life can be sometimes, you know. You know, as you know, as we all know, life can be very hard, and it can be very cruel sometimes as well too, in some people's circumstances, you know, depending on what they've experienced in their life and what they've been through and the trauma they've had to deal with in their life, you know. It's you know.
Like, I mean, some children are abused, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Sadly, yeah.
You know, some horribly or whatever, yeah.
Sadly.
In different ways, you know.
Yeah.
Some physically, some sexually,
Disgusting.
some verbally or whatever, you know. There's lots of different ways of abusing someone, you know. And when kids are abused, you know, they carry that memory. They got to carry it when they're 21, 22, 23.
It's sad.
You know, and these people that do this kind of thing, alright, they're brain dead.
They don't even realise the trauma and the shit that the kind of trauma that they're putting that person through.
Again, you know, a lot of people are narcissistic people out there. Is that the right word?
What, narcissistic? Narcissistic?
Yeah, a lot of people are. You know, they're control freaks and all this sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And they abuse people. You know, these people have probably got abused themselves, maybe some way or another.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, and then they do the same thing because they're hating the world they live in. Yeah, an adult, they abuse a kid.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, and then that kid grows up in the same way, in a kind of way, you know, and it's, you know, some children can, you know, it's possible that they can get through it. But this is a problem, you know, like a lot of people out here are completely not wanting to live in this world at all. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to use their imagination at all in a kind of way, you know, because it's been killed by a bullet.
Yeah.
You know, being hurt too much. You know, and their imagination starts thinking of dangerous things now. Do you know what I mean? I know this for a fact. You know, and it's sad that we're not all using our imagination today. You know, and you go around, all right. I mean, I go around and to the doctors sometimes. You know, I went to the doctors last week, whatever, and it's so boring. All the grey signs on the wall. You know, it's not colourful. You know, it's not. You know, as I said, like, why don't they put it on the news? You know, like having a news, educational news. For God's sake, you know, we're living in the same world here. Let's wake each other up, for God's sake. You know, what's going on? You know, is the Queen doing this or what?
It's just a matrix, you know,
isn't
it, mate?
What the hell, you know?
It's just a matrix.
You know,
like the people that have woken up completely to the matrix and fully understand what it is. When you're outside of it, looking in on it from the outside, you're able to see it from a completely different perspective and a different understanding. But all the people that are still stuck in it, mate, and don't see it for what it really is and understand it for what it really is, are kind of like, honestly, it's almost like you're blind, if you see what I mean. Because I remember when I first woke up to a lot of stuff, you know what I mean, started really educating myself about a lot of stuff years and years ago, you know what I mean, and really delving into a lot of conspiracies and a lot of different, all sorts of different stuff, you know, at that time, like, a lot of knowledge and information, whatever. That's what I thought.
That's right.
But yeah, I remember, like, but even back then, like, you know, like, that you know, pursuing that information, if you see what I mean, gave me a different perspective, if you see what I mean. Gave me a greater understanding of, what I was going to say is that I remember when I fully kind of woke up to what was really going on in the world and what was really happening, if you see what I mean, and understanding why the world is the way it is and why society is the way it is and everything else, you know what I mean, you know, for whatever reason that, you know, it's too much to go into now. I remember when I woke up, I remember thinking, God, like, I was, you know, so many of us are blind to what's really going on, and it's not until when you really wake up and you have some form or some type of enlightenment, kind of, if you see what I mean, you know, that you really see it for what it really is, if you see what I mean, and you're able to then, you know, live your life according to that, if you see what I mean. You're able to see it for what it is and navigate through life accordingly, you know.
It's like I look at it as like a giant board game, you know, like a big Monopoly game, you know. And you might, you know, you go out and, you know, you might have to, you step on something and you've got to pay a fine or something, you know, or go to prison and things like this, you know. And they don't care about you, you know, you're off the streets, you know. And it's just ridiculous, the whole lot of it. It's just like a circus to me, or a casino in a way, you know. And it just doesn't make sense, you know. Like I love children, yeah. I love all children, you know, and I feel really sad that they're sort of in a kind of way in classrooms doing things that they don't really feel like sometimes, you know. I mean, some children might like what they're doing, you know, whether it's science or maths or whatever, right? But a lot of children might not want to be there, you know, and it's just a bit like sad that it's like called it's almost a bit, if you see what I mean, yeah. Where I feel that children learn more when they're playing, you know, like in the playground, you know, when, you know, like, did you play British Bulldog?
No.
You know, like games like that, right? But these children, you know, amongst themselves, they do invent games themselves at playtime. You know, I mean, that game was invented by probably children. You know, same as Ring a Roses, all that, yeah. Invented by children, not adults. I mean, some.
Well, apparently that ring around the roses
to do
thing,
the black.
It's to do with the bubonic plague or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
right, like some of this stuff really comes from, you know, some, you know, if you don't really, you know, it's,
ring a rose.
It's
poses.
Well, it's the fact though that they've got kids singing this as a nursery rhyme, to me is a little bit sick, too. If you get what I mean, like the fact that you've got kids singing about people, you know what I mean, dropping dead because of the bubonic plague.
I mean, that's what kids used to do. They actually used to.
Yeah.
That's what they used to do, right? Yeah. Like 10 of them used to hold hands. I'm going back when that, what was the 17th century, 1750, I think that was, Black Plague.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so these kids were, 10 of them, young kids, like 7 or 8, somebody dead with the Black Plague, they would hold arms and, you know, dance around it.
In a circle.
Ring of Roses.
In a circle.
Spinning around like that, yeah. But that's true, around a dead body. And that's how that's, you know, it's a bit sad, isn't it?
That's what I mean, like, and even this whole, you know.
I mean, good morning, you know, like that word.
Yeah.
You know, the rich people used to say that to the people that are digging the graves and all that. Good morning.
That's what I'm saying. Mourning, like you know, mourning is to do with grief, to do with someone dying. You know, someone you're mourning the loss of someone. Like it goes back to what we were talking about before in another. You know, that's obviously another episode that something else that we need to talk about in another episode as well. Going back to the whole words again, you know, and how words are spells, like, you know, the whole mourning thing, you know.
Yeah, that'd be it.
And weak, you know, the working weak and the word weak, you know, feeling weak and weak, you know, and all sorts of different things, you know.
It's like even lived and evil, you know, and devil.
Yeah.
Lived.
God and good, and devil and evil.
God backwards is dog.
And dog, yeah.
Apparently, I shouldn't say, I won't say this right. I was going to say something, but I won't say it.
Yeah.
Sausages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Backwards.
Yeah.
I won't go on with that, but you know, I'll leave that to your imagination, you know.
Yeah.
But I say the imagination is an incredible place, you know, like, so I can go wherever I want, you know. I can fly with the birds, swim with the fish.
Yeah.
You know,
infinite.
You know, I saw some crows flying about today, you know, and they're sort of going around in circles, yeah. And I just imagine being one for a minute, you know, it's easy if you try.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's quite easy, you know, and you can actually imagine that you're a crow for a minute doing that, you know. But you just got to, you know, I think it takes a long time for you to build your imagination before you can do that.
You got to be able to free your mind too. You've got to be able to free your mind, and even if you're a very busy person and consumed, you have to have a bit of time where you can have silence and peace and quiet, and just be in tune with your
peace of mind.
Yeah, in tune with yourself and in tune with your mind and your thoughts.
No sound.
You know, no sound, just
no sound at all.
Even if it's 15 minutes a day where you're just calm and quiet, you know, able to think your own thoughts and be in tune with yourself, because you know most of us have very limited time and limited opportunity to do that every day. So I think even if you, like I said, even if it's 15-20 minutes every day out of your life, just to unwind and to rebalance your inner self and rebalance your mind, body and spirit kind of thing, if you see what I mean, you know. So,
I think it's sort of like, if you're in love with your own imagination, that's the thing, that's what I just thought about, yeah. If you love your own imagination, which I personally do, I love my imagination, that's all there is to that. You know, I think you're going to be happy wherever you are, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, do you feel that? Do you know?
Yeah, I think it's all about...
Do you love your imagination?
Oh, definitely.
You know, and if
I must say I'm very thankful too, because like being able to be, I'm quite a creative person, like musically, so just being able to have that talent, if you see what I mean, that's obviously part of your imagination, like, you know, it's a talent, like to be able to me anyway, that's how I view it, you know, I see it as a talent, as a gift to be able to write songs, to be able to listen to music or instrumental or whatever the case may be, and be able to just put words to it, you know, and create it into a complete track, if you see what I mean, you know, not just, you know, words, but a production, you know, being able to put it all together, you know. I think that that in itself takes a lot of imagination and creativity and ideas and brainstorming and etc. You know, and I think the whole, like I said, the whole imagination thing, like just to break it down into layman's terms, like just for anyone to understand, it's all just to do with your thoughts and your thought process and your understanding. You know, your thoughts are what, you know, you have to. And you've got to be careful with your thoughts too as well. You have to be able to kind of learn how to filter your thoughts as well. Because sometimes you might have a thought that randomly might come into your brain that of something that you would never normally think about, and you think, where the hell did that come from? You know, why would I even think about that? Like, you know, like get rid of that, if you see what I mean. Like, get rid of that. Like where's that come from? Like, you know, where's that come from? Like, I know I know that's not something I want to do or something I want to think about. So why am I even thinking about that? Get rid of that, if you see what I mean. Like, it takes time. Honestly, it takes time, and it takes a lot. It takes work in order to learn how to do it properly. But when you learn how to
control your thoughts.
That's it. Control your thoughts and analyze them and understand which are your thoughts and the good positive thoughts, and you know, etc. And all the other ones, discard them, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Put them into the recycle bin and click delete. If you get what I'm trying to say, like, you know.
That's what it is, though. Control your thoughts.
Yeah.
Control your actions, and control your imagination.
Yeah.
Control yourself.
Because your thoughts, like, even like the way you, like, even tomorrow, like, okay, like, how I look at it, right? It's like, once you believe in something, you can achieve that thing or manifest it. As long as you believe in it and you work hard enough to attain it, you can gain whatever it is. And that comes from your imagination. You come up with a plan in your mind, you think of an idea, come up with a plan in your mind, and then you try to execute that plan, if you see what I mean. Yeah, physically, or whatever, you know. So it all stems from your thoughts, you know. Your thoughts are what shape your reality. And, you know, you have to be, you know, it all comes back down to being in tune with yourself, being at one with yourself, having inner peace.
Being happy.
Happy, inner peace.
You've got to be happy to your past as well, you know. You got to forgive as well, yeah. What thing people will hurt you, whatever. You got to try to forgive that if you can.
Yeah.
You got to realise that a lot of people have been through the same thing.
Or more.
You know, or more.
Or worse. Or worse.
You know, even me personally, I've been through my nasty things in my past when I was a child, whatever. You know, but thank God I wasn't sexually abused.